Welcome to Monday Club.
Yes, nice one, Amy.
Done.
Right, so here we are back again. We've had a little week break. It's always nice to have a break. What's been new, lads and ladies?
I wish we had a week. Wish I knew we had a week break. There's me last Monday. Sam, we still at LA? No. Oh, I tidied my office and everything.
Oh, pleb. Right, so as you can tell, I'm quite happy today. Don't really know why. Cracked open a bottle of rum the other night, and this is the remnants. So, yeah, it's called Captain Cook Rum from Lidl.
A little story, haven't we?
Hey? Yeah, well, no, we told that already, bro.
Okay.
What about today, though? I had to phone you up and tell you about the fact that my farts were on the outside of the circle of trust.
I couldn't. Adam was wetting himself because obviously you come through on the van and he's saying, oh yeah, he finds it really awkward now because he doesn't wear boxers or underwear. So if he was to shit himself, it would be down his leg.
Yeah, so farts are outside the circle of trust after they let me down today. So that's all I can say.
Did you pee yourself?
No, come close though.
I would laugh so much.
It's always a worry with Sam, isn't it? You never quite know.
That's it. Living life on the edge, as they say. So, Marco, what have you been up to, my bro?
Busy as ever, mate. Lots of work going on, which is good. It's all absolutely flying. We've got installs going on for commercial customers, testing for EICRs, and loads of jobs being booked into the new year. So, yeah, pretty decent. We've got the Apprentice one-to-one stuff as well. You what, sorry?
Kind of interesting. Tell us a story of the week, bro.
Well, there's stuff going on in my private life, but I'm not going to speak about that. Kids are off school again. They're shut. That's exciting. There is the new NAPIT fast test software that's out. Have you seen that? That's been tied up with Amtech. You aware of that one?
No.
Yes, mate. I've read all about it. I've read the literature. Yeah, page 42.
We actually mentioned it we mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? That it's coming out, and they've released it to the Amtech guys first to see how they manage with it all, like merging it into the NAPIT desktop software, and it's been released to the rest of the NAPIT membership who use NAPIT desktop for the certs over the next couple of weeks or so.
So Nick, do you use that?
No.
They
offered me ages ago. No, they offered me ages ago, but I never had on my computer, my old Mac I used to take with me to test on stuff. I just couldn't get on with it. I started using the Easy Cert stuff and then stayed with that ever since. So yeah, if I gave it a chance now, maybe, but because you know when you're flying on the ICRs, do that many of them and testing, and you know the form inside and out, to change it now when something works so well, I don't really see the point. In my eyes,
that's exactly the page I was on when I first swapped from Amtech. I couldn't really ever see myself using anything else. Yeah, but now I wouldn't ever swap away from this. I think we just get used to things, don't we?
Yeah. I might have a look then.
So, I've got some exciting news. Maybe next week or the week after, I'm going to be doing some testing. I'm going to jump in and do some testing, and it's been probably forever since I've done proper testing, so I'm going to be shadowing the geezer I work with for a bit, get my head around it, and I'm going to be diving feet first into testing. It's been a long while since I've done it. I'm going to be using the TIS Eco, MFT Eco. It's meant to be a bit of a snazzy machine, so I've got to get my head around that, which might take a week or two. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting down and doing some testing. It's like, honestly, I've tested little bits and pieces here and there, but so obviously I've been doing student accommodation, like turn an old Jaguar garage in Canterbury into student accommodation, and so we've pretty much done the first fix now. And so we're going to be doing dead tests and stuff like that, and all the communal stuff needs tested, and so yeah, I've managed to wangle that little job. So yeah, I wanted to knuckle down and do it because I'm going to do my 2391 middle of next year as well. So any opportunity I can get to get my hands on a tester, start getting the old brain going, the old grey matter going.
Mark, you've got the TIS Pro, haven't you?
I have, yeah. It's decent gear. I like it. I've
Yes.
always been a Mega guy, but I quite get on with this. It's decent.
Yeah, because I was watching a few of the videos the other day, and they've got obviously all the different. Obviously, it's touchscreen, isn't it? Compared to any
Yes,
other
it
tester. I was watching Dave's video when you can literally click through it, and like you can select its 2.5 or 16 amp breaker, and it will give you the parameters and everything. I did think that was really cool, really cool. And then I looked into it as well from what you said about the EV adapter.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's really good that the kit all ties together, and I've got the clamp that does power factor measurements as well, and you can do earth leakage measurements. So it's not just an MFT; it kind of spreads out into a few other areas as well. So, you know, it's good gear.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to really dive into it because, you know, I've always said from the beginning, if you can't, are you really an electrician if you can't test your work?
No, I mean, you should be testing, shouldn't you? Part of your NVQ, if you've gone through the process of training, involves testing.
Yeah,
So we all do it, but I think when you go out into the day job, though, I appreciate what you're saying, that you just haven't done it for a very, very long time. Don't make you less of an electrician, though, does it? So, you know, there's two sides to that argument.
Yeah, I know.
different with domestic, though, isn't it?
It is different.
Yes,
with domestic.
definitely.
Often on like a commercial job, you don't get to see a tester really. They bring in their own testers, or they get a couple of guys in, and they get a couple of quid more an hour, and they'll just go off and do the testing. You know, they're quite precious about it. They're not trying to help you. They're not trying to show you anything. You know, it's all a bit hush hush when they do it. So I'm very fortunate on this job. Excuse me. That I've been given the opportunity to get my teeth stuck in. So I'm very, very excited. Amy, don't sit there like a mute.
Sorry.
Well,
I've actually got some exciting stuff to tell you.
go on, we're excited.
Last week, I did a really exciting job with RJ Homes. Ricky and Aid, they contacted me on Instagram and asked me to jump on this job with them because it was quite near me. And I'm not really allowed to tell you much of the detail about it because I've had to sign a form thing because it was for a celebrity.
Was it really?
Yeah, so it was really
nice.
exciting. It was a bit of a last minute thing, but yeah, I did a couple of days with them. I really enjoyed it. I met some really good people, and Ricky and Aid are great.
Celebrity?
Sorry?
Did you meet the celebrity?
I didn't meet them. I saw them.
I knew.
But yeah, it was really good, and I really. Huh?
So I was telling Sam I know who it is, but
Oh, you know
yeah, it's Mary Berry, isn't it?
who?
Mary Berry.
Mary Berry, yeah. So yeah, that was good, and I got on really well with those guys. They're great, and I'm actually doing some more work with them now in January.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Amy, tell the story a little bit. So you've been working for a couple of geezers, doing some not commercial. It's just like house bashing, isn't it?
No, it's a bit of everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you've been trying to build up your own work, and now you're down to 3 days with them. Is that right?
Yeah, so I worked for 2 different companies, and now I only work for the one. So I work 3 days a week for them, and then 2 days a week doing my own stuff, just because I was getting busier and busier, which is nice. So yeah, just gives me more time. I was working like 7 days a week, and it was a bit much. So yeah, I'll cut down a bit.
Sam hasn't done that for years, if not ever.
Sam doesn't really do 7 hours a week.
That's true.
Oh, listen, I got a terrible comment on YouTube the other day saying,
Just the one.
yeah, well, it's the first one for a while. It's in the Fat Sound Grand Sound series. I deleted it because, you know, cut the cancer out and all that. It pissed me right off. But you know what I mean? But I was just like, it just annoyed me. And it just said, I am basically using other talented electricians to promote myself and promoting being a lazy electrician.
I apologise for writing that, Sam. I was annoyed with you at the time, but I've forgiven you now.
Nice one.
And then I showed Neil, and he said, I totally agree. You're an arsehole too. Actually, I've got it here. I think I sent it to you, didn't I, Nick?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And you just ignored it big time, mate.
Busy.
So
I
I've
can't
got,
answer the 74th rack phone call from the day from you. Sorry, mate. I actually have to do something.
well, I don't. LFC fan 1977. So you're older than me, so fuck you. You get one of the best YouTube electricians to interview, and the conversation doesn't elevate much higher than driving directions. Sorry, unsubscribing from you. Your self-proclaiming lazy electrician attitude and dull content. Please give up and stop dragging down the better content providers. Hi, mate.
That was on Dave's video, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Oh, I don't have time to read the message that I send you, but you read it on YouTube, yeah? Priorities.
I did read it. I did. Oh, whatever.
I bet you've had a load of good comments there as well, haven't you, Sam? It's just always the really harsh ones that burn the most and stick in the memory.
I've had some positive comments about you, Sam, but I just didn't forward them to you because I didn't want you to get big-headed. You're already big-headed, aren't you? So
For no reason.
yeah, God knows why.
Oh,
I
Sam.
haven't heard that. I have two big heads.
You're disgusting. You're the worst of the worst.
The other day, she was my missus come knocking on, like, so I'm in the shed, obviously.
Where is this going? Oh, God.
No, so my missus comes knocking on the door, and I'm on the phone to Amy. She's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, not that my missus talks like that, but I always do an impression that she does. "Who's that?" And I was like, "That's Amy the Spark." And then them two start moaning about me to each other. Well,
It was great.
Understand that.
Yeah, thanks.
Does that not happen more often, Sam?
that's all I could say is I was disappointed, Amy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well.
She's lovely.
We're not disappointed, Amy, at all.
I don't know how she puts up with you. She
Why
doesn't
not?
know how she puts up with you.
Why not? I'm funny.
She says it's a nightmare. Clearly.
Bash Sam episode. Right, so outside of this mockery of Sam, what else has been going on this week, Nico boy? Well, not this week, last week, isn't it?
EICRs.
Oh,
Struggling to find.
another set of kitchen lights and another rewire. Bore off.
That's what we do in domestic, yeah. Not really. Like last week, it's the first time in about 8, 9, 10 weeks that I actually struggled to find something to video, like at all. You know, when you get to a point where it's like, I did another 2 fuse boards, but how many people want to see that? Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to find content, but equally, recently, last week, it was nice. We were finishing. I picked the kids up 2 days in a row. Lovely. Didn't want to do the third one. No, I didn't like them that much. But yeah, I can't really remember about last week, to be honest.
I can't really remember. It sounds like a real dull podcast. I'm gonna get moaned at for having good content providers saying dull things. But Amy, what other good news have you got for me, please?
I could tell you something funny that I did today. Well, it's not that funny, but
Yeah, do it.
I was doing some downlights in the kitchen. I put it on my stories on Instagram. There was like 7. It's a bit weird how they're set out. And I'd done a plan of the measurements and then left it at home. So it got to the job and I was like, oh, shit. Anyway, I thought I can remember. So drilled out the holes, didn't hit any joists. I was like, amazing. I'm so amazing. I've got this. Go around, put my hand up the first hole, pull the cable down. I was like, perfection. The builder that I worked with was like, don't say that until you've got all 7 cables down. I was like, yeah. Go around, pull them all down, put my hand up the 7th hole. There's no cable. I drilled it in the wrong place, obviously. So I did the new hole and it was all fine. And then I wanted some photos for Instagram. So I just had to put like words and emojis over the hole. So I've had loads of positive comments, like people saying, yeah, well done, nice one, they look really good. But actually, people won't know this by the time this comes out. You won't be able to look. But I've put, yeah, you're really big to cover the hole. And then on the next one, I've put like a little emoji to cover the hole.
Skills, style it out, I like it.
It was nearly perfect. Oh, yeah. So under that first Y, right next to that one. And if you look on the next shot, there, underneath there. So don't believe everything you see on Instagram. It wasn't perfect.
Fact. That's the best thing that I said to people was when you're doing the downlight plans, take a picture on your phone because your locational services is on. And you can always get back to it.
Yeah.
Fact. So if I take a picture, if I'd done a wiring diagram at work at downlights, take a picture of it, And if your phone's set up to locational services, the picture you take will locate you to that. So if you leave your thing at home, you've got a picture. But what I found as well, because I take 1 million pictures a day, if then I go to search
Selfies.
area, yeah, in fact, selfie guys, go to location where I am, it will then show me all the pictures I took on that job. The more you know.
Interesting. This is an interesting subject. It's using modern technology. I sound old. Using technology to do work. I like it.
Like this. Subscribe, guys.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous of that, if I'm honest. I can't find
That's
one.
really cool.
I do have one somewhere. I can't find it. I need a green
Maybe you wiped your ass with it one time.
Listen, this podcast has got to be more than my poo stories.
I've got to tell you though, when I was on that job with Ricky and Aid last week, they were talking about your Lidl story. So we're having a good chat about that, and they did ask me to ask you if you've got any more poo stories to tell. But I mean, you might have satisfied that at the beginning of this because you said about your risky
At the
farts.
beginning.
Yeah.
Have I got a poo story for you?
Sam's new game show.
Listen, we're not having a segment called Sam's Poo Stories. That's not happening. Right? It's just not acceptable. Like, we're lowering the bar here. Since Rick and Neil have left, we're turning into like spazzes. We can't have it.
It's me, isn't it?
Well, you
I'm
know.
getting enough of the poo stories.
Well, it is weird. It's kind of weird. And, you know, being the apprentice of the show, bringing the tone down. Look. She's triggered.
No,
Triggered.
they don't care.
A little bit, though.
Speaking of apprentices, while we're on that subject, anyone who is thinking of taking one on, the grant expires at the end of January. So GTL have been pushing that a lot the last week. So there's an extra £2,000 as a grant incentive for employing someone up to the age of 18. But that government scheme finishes 31st of Jan. So if you are thinking about it, now's the time to get on with it.
Well, yeah, I'm getting pestered by Adam's lecturer.
Yeah, but the link for that is on the Apprentice One-to-One website, because I get asked for that quite a lot. It's buried on all the government websites.
So, Mark, what's happening with A1-to-1? What's the A1-to-1 updates?
Yeah, still loads of people getting in touch. Lots and lots of apprentices trying to get jobs and trying to get stuff done with colleges as well, because obviously all the lecturers have been off, trying to get caught up with their exams. It's just a massive backlog. It's not just the employment. Not too many employers, as you'd expect at the minute, so there's not a lot of them getting in touch at all, which is a bit sad to see. So I'm just keeping going with giveaways and supports. There was an apprentice messaging last night, actually, whose employer's not been releasing him for his training. So that's a bit of a sore subject. He's had about 8 weeks in a row where he's not got his day released to college, and his employer's threatened to sack him. So he was asking for some advice on that, and that's when it's
What is the advice around that, though? What is the advice?
That's that's exactly it. You don't want to go telling people stuff that isn't like factually correct. So I've referred that on to some of the lecturers who were in the Apprentice One-to-One group, because they will know. I mean, legally, if you've entered an apprenticeship scheme with an employer, then you're contractually obliged to be released to college for paid training. So they should be paying that time as well. Obviously, if you've got a guy there telling you, if you're not on site tomorrow where I'm telling you to be, I'm going to sack you. You know, people need to know, don't they? So they turn up to site.
It's not a company you want to be working for, though, is it? Like, if they're not valuing bringing you on and they're just using you for cheap labour, then whilst there is probably business considerations, the odd week here and there is fine. But if it's 8 weeks in a row, he's either running that business badly, being a dick, or, you know, exploiting you. And you have to sort of make a judgment around that, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of what I'd said, that if it's here and there, you don't mind helping people out. Stuff happens, and occasionally you have to step up and help people out, and you might have to miss a day of college here and there. But to be continually having that happen.
Question.
Go on, Nick.
What is the pay scheme around when they go to college? Because Adam goes to college every Monday, and he started again next week, and then he worked Christmas. But yeah, I pay him a full day's wage normally, as is, like he's at work. But then I've heard some people can pay half a day, or what's the sort of go-to with it?
I think they're supposed to be paid for all the time they're at college, so a full day's work. I mean, it depends what they get in their contract of employment, but generally for an apprenticeship role, you're supposed to get paid for that time that you're released to college. That's why your rate is as low as it is, because the employer gets the benefit. while they're paying below minimum wage a lot of the time.
Right. Okay.
So
I'm doing the right thing then.
In paying him from a legal point of view.
I want to pay him half. Why are you so tight, Nick?
No, I actually give him more than and the amount of free time. I'm not getting triggered by Sam again. It's not happening. All I'm saying, I can see his eyes go. He just lights up. Oh yes, I've got him. But no, come January, Adam doesn't know this, but I'm going to give him a pay rise.
Ooh, how much?
He deserves it. I don't know yet.
£20 an hour.
What? No, he's on.
£3.52.
I don't know what he's on. 53. But no, I'm going to give him a pay rise as well. And I've got a Christmas bonus settled for him that he has no idea about as well. So
he's worth it though, and I like that, Nick.
He's a
I
legend.
do like what you do there. You are quite.
I value him. I value him tenfold. Like I've said to you before, not only does it help me with work, but with the mental side of it as well. Like going to work by myself, I just can't do it anymore. I hate it. So, but knowing Mondays that he's not going to be with me from the new year, I'm going to sort of do a Monday morning, come back, and then Monday afternoon will be paperwork time. Sort invoices, so I'm not sat in the office every single night doing paperwork and invoices and quotes and certificates and everything like that. I've tried to do every certificate as and when we've left the job, it's then sent off as an email, so I don't have to worry about it at home. Back in the past 3-4 years ago, I'd have 17 certificates that I've had to do in one night, and you just sat there like, why have I done this to myself?
See, this is the thing I've been really struggling with lately. Don't mind talking about it. Is just being present at work. I'm really struggling just getting through the day. Like, so I found myself doing something I haven't done
without pooing yourself.
Well, that too. Well, actually, what I was going to say is, I found myself sitting in the toilet the other day, just wasting time, and I thought this is such an unhealthy mindset to be in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's to do with the fact that there'll be people out there suffering from, well, not suffering, it's not a thing to suffer from, but I'm struggling with this lockdown, struggling with it, not going to lie. It's doing my head in. The first one was all right, but this one's doing my head right in. The fact that I'm in tier 3, and so we're not coming out of lockdown when we come out of lockdown effectively, that's doing my head in. And it's just a really negative mindset I've been stuck in at work for the past week or so, struggling. And I thought I'd just bring that up this week. Is anyone else sort of struggling with it might also be to do with the fact that obviously the seasonal change, Yeah,
I was going to say, I always get like that this time of year. I find it really hard. I really hate the winter. So when it starts getting cold and I have to put my 46 layers on.
It's cool. They call it sad, don't they? And I'm not like in the dark and in the winter. My dad used to say it to me because I couldn't understand it as a kid when he said it's sad. I was like, what are you on about? But it's the phrase that goes around it, isn't it? Called sad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know if it's that. I just think I'm just feeling a little bit oppressed by everything at the moment. I think that's how I feel. Bit oppressed. Barnet needs cutting. How can I maintain these handsome looks with hair like this? It's a struggle. The struggle is real. And I've just been, it's been a pony week in terms of just fucking really getting my head into work. I don't know what's going on.
I think the only thing I have to be...
it though, mate. You recognised it.
Definitely.
The other thing is as well, it may not appear on the surface, but I do like exercises. Right? All about laughing. I do like exercise. I do like going on my bike rides. I do like walking the dog down the beach. And I would quite like to go to a gym during the winter, but none of that's happening. And by the time you get home, it's pitch black. I've thought about buying some really high-powered like headlights for my mountain bike, but I'm not riding along the coast with high-powered headlights on. I just freak myself out. No, I would. My brain goes too much. Like zombies are coming or something weird like that. Or like, what if there's sea vampires? Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Exactly. That would go through my head at the same time. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but like, whatever, man. Like, where I live, yeah, where I live is a place called Thanet. It's called the Thanet Coast, and it used to be an island back in the back day. Now, down here...
When Mark was born.
Huh?
When Mark was born.
Mark's the same age as me, so shut up. I know. Fat don't crack, see.
God's sake.
He likes that one, see. So down there used to be, so you had the Roman invasion started down this way. So that, so the Vikings turned up down there. So, you know, like the popular series Vikings. No, what is it? Kingdom. Have you seen that on Netflix?
No, I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
Yeah. So Ethelbert and all them people. This was ancient kingdom of Wessex and all that was round here. So all them people were down here. There's a lot of history down here, which means there's a lot of killing down here, which means there's a lot of unsettled vibes down here, which means that if you're going to see a ghost whilst you're riding along the seafront, it's down here. I'm not for
That's
that.
logical.
I'm not for that.
He'll come up with any excuse not to exercise, really, won't he?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he will, yeah.
that story was mental.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want it.
Just to be like, so that's why I don't cycle.
This next thing is I don't want to get too thin just in case.
I'd
so I
just
won't
be
bother.
like, oh, I
So,
got a puncture.
Well,
yeah.
do you want to hear another historical fact?
I'd love
Yes,
to.
please, Sam.
So the gladiators used to have like you think that gladiators were all like ripped and like proper bodied up, but actually they was, but they also maintained quite a bit of fat because when they got cut and stuff, it was like extra armor. So they would get cut a little bit, and it would only be the fat that got cut. So they wouldn't be.
So
like,
what you're saying is you're a gladiator, is that's what you're getting at, isn't it?
Come on.
Jesus.
So, you know, you can use history for anything, bro.
You know about TV programs? I just thought I'd jump in. We've just started watching. Do you remember Heroes that came out like 2006?
I remember watching
or something
it,
like that?
and I was like, "This is the best way to make superheroes boring."
Whatever then. Whatever.
But this is an electrical podcast, not talking about TV shows. Or
You're talking about ghosts and you trying to lose weight, and then you're not losing weight.
No,
because
I am
of
losing
ghosts.
weight though because I've just been cutting down my food, trying to maintain a sense of discipline in my life. And,
8 meals down to 5, yeah.
Sometimes I wonder who is the girl on this podcast because Sam's always chatting about his diet, losing weight, random stories, ghosts.
Yeah, you should have seen him doing his hair about before the podcast for 25 minutes.
Well, you know, it's fucked. Look, it's fucked. I need a haircut, man. I need to stop sweating. So this
A haircut's not going to do that.
Tumbleweeds. No, but let's bring it back to a sense of normality. You know, I bet Neil's sitting there in his cave right now, pulling his hair out at this point. That the lack of electrical content on this podcast.
Have you
let's talk
bought
about
yourself a
electrics.
copy of Garden Snort 3 ready for your testing? Because that's got to be some motivation for you. If you've been in a bit of a down state to do with work, you've got all that testing coming up. Have you got yourself Garden Snort 3 to have a read through and
I've just
see
bought
exactly what you need to be doing?
Yeah,
To
just put
refresh your
Adam in as
mind,
well.
Sam.
Guidance Note 3. No, I haven't bought that.
It's orange.
Yeah, Ricky let me borrow his copy last week and it was really good because I'm trying to get into testing more. Yeah, and he lent it me overnight. I had a look at it and then I ordered it. It's really good.
Are you from 1912? Lends it me. Huh?
How have you not heard of Guidance Note 3?
Who?
You.
Oh, mate, I'm sorry. I'm busy building an empire and like working and being a dad and then building an empire. I haven't had time to swat up on it. What do you want?
I'm doing the same thing, but I still own it. It's behind this lovely wall. Oh no, I can't get to it.
No, do you know what? There's
No,
one.
but
Go on, Mark.
I was just going to say, with you saying about having a refresher onto all the testing and going off with your mate you're going to shadow, that's a great book to pick up if you haven't done it for a while. It's not the biggest book, but it does actually walk you through the test processes
I'm gonna order
and the
it right
order you
now.
have to do them in. It's a good reminder.
I'm going to order it right now.
Yeah,
I think it's about
25 quid,
30. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
need to
Amazon
get the
Prime.
money.
Brilliant.
Guidance Note 3, IET wiring regs, boosh. Amazon, Bosch. Bye now. Done.
He so didn't do that, did he? He just took a picture of himself.
Yeah, what do you want? I need it. Listen, this is one thing that's become very apparent. I talked about this last week with one of the new interviews I've done. And for my new podcast coming out called Short Circuit, look out for it. And one of the things I've noticed is when I started doing this podcast, that like the very early days of this podcast, I thought, yeah, I know what I'm doing, blah, blah. But it turns out I don't know nothing. I'm really bad with my knowledge. Like, I would say I'm probably Amy level, and I should be aiming for Nick level.
I'll never get to Mark's level, so that's
no,
fine.
You don't have a head shaped like a brainiac.
Thank you.
I take it as a compliment, to be fair, Mark.
You are smart, though. You do know your ones.
It's as good as I'm going to get from Sam.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said so, really. I don't know a lot of things. I mean, a lot of the stuff is locked away in books, isn't it? That's why I've got so many. So if you don't know something, go and learn it, read it.
That's the thing, though. I hate reading, and I'm not very good at it. So a lot of my work has been trial and error throughout the years, which is a good way to learn, to a point.
Yeah,
Well,
of course it is. I mean, that's the best way of learning, isn't it? Practical learning. As long as you're doing it safely and not electrocuting yourself, then it's all good.
Just every now and then.
I'd say that's one of the really good things that I've liked about working with different people. Because I work with the same people all the time, I do lots of very similar jobs in the same way.
Yeah.
But working with different people recently, I'm learning like new stuff, but also different ways of doing things, which has been really good for me. And also because I feel like I ask the people I work with questions all the time, and I think, God, they must get sick of me. But now I'm meeting more and more people, and everyone that I've met or worked with from Instagram so far has been so nice. And I spoke to Ricky today. He said, "Oh, call me if you ever got any problems or need some advice or whatever." And I was on this job and I had a question. I called him and he answered it straight away. And it's been really great for learning new stuff. So I'm hoping, like in the future now, I'm going to carry on doing that, like trying to get in touch with different people locally and work with different people.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right, because Nick, you need to bring the child on TV. Bring her on.
Oh,
So
cute.
back in a sec.
Go on, boss.
Oh.
No, that's one of the things is getting experience by working with other people. Now, if you ever come across an electrician that don't want to show you or says you should know or something like that, they need to have a word with themselves. It's no reflection on you. There is no.
I've had that in the past. The first place that I worked when I came out of training, I worked with a guy who was an absolute idiot. He didn't want to tell me anything, and he used to say, like, if I asked a question, he'd say, "Well, you should have learned that at college," and he wouldn't tell me.
No way to be, is it?
Go over there and work it out for yourself. And he just used to shout and swear at me. And I think, if someone's there willing to learn and wants to learn, what's the harm in sharing your knowledge? I'd do it.
See, was there if he would shout and swear at you if you was Nick or me, not Mark? Like, do you think he would swear at you like that? Because he just wouldn't. And I find someone with that mentality and not willing to help you is probably someone you want to be as far away from as possible.
They're just jealous pricks that you just get in life. But this is a good point what Amy said. On the last video I've just done, it's not out yet, but I asked Adam, just put him on the spot completely in the van, stuck a camera in his face and said, "What's the best advice you would give other electricians, apprentice electricians?" He just said, just ask questions all the time. He says, try and be confident to a point. I know it's difficult with environments and new people, but he just said straight to the camera, ask questions. As many as you can. It shows that you're interested, and equally, as long as you, like you say, you've got the right person teaching you, it's absolutely fine. I love him that he asked me questions, because it just shows that he wants to learn and improve. And I'll give him all the time of the day, give him answering stuff. But the moment that you get someone, and I can imagine if I had an apprentice who was dead quiet, you're just there like in the back of your head, does he know what he's on about? Or does he know this or that? It's just much rather you ask questions. Best way forward.
if I was going to give any advice to an electrical apprentice, it would be, you know, don't just stick with, if you're a commercial electrician, don't just do tray and do containment, because you can get so sucked up in just doing containment, because let's be fair, it's really enjoyable when you do, like, you get into like an intake room, for instance. I used to love an intake room, and you do all that, you set it all out nicely, you cut it all nice, you can set up in there, and you can spend like 3 months sorting out the intake room and have an absolute really lovely time, do some really rewarding looking work. But actually, you're not increasing your skills. You're working from a drawing. You're measuring out according to the drawing and verticals and all that. And then, sorry, not verticals, elevations and all that sort of stuff. And then you just look at it and, you know, you can just go, you can actually make a career from being a containment electrician, or you can make a career out of just being a domestic electrician. But my advice would be, don't just stick to one thing like that in your apprenticeship. Yeah. You've got to get out there and
try everything.
Try everything.
Yep. Oh.
Bye, Mark.
Bye, Mark. Oh, there. Hi, Mark.
What happened there?
Don't know, mate. You swapped cameras.
His Pornhub tab popped up.
You swap cameras as well now. Oh,
yeah, you switched over.
Oh.
Oh, Amy's below Sam now.
That's right.
Is that one?
Yes, she is.
Oh.
Yeah, just following on from what you were saying there, Sam, I get so many messages from people saying how they're not getting enough experience in their apprenticeships and that they're employed by effectively arseholes. Hearing like Nick and the way he is with Adam and how other people are getting apprentices out there is a bit of hurt for some people, because there's loads of lads and lasses who aren't. It's just crap. Stuck just doing containment non-stop, not getting a wide variety of work. And this is fourth year apprentices, desperate to try and get a bit of, even going to work for free to get a bit of other experience ready for AM2 and actually going out into the employed world as electricians.
See, I was on a job once, not too long ago, Selfridges it was, doing some wiring in the cinema. And the apprentice there was about to do his AM2 the next day. And he goes, oh, yeah, I've got to do, can you just go over free plate lighting with me? I was like, yeah, no problem. I was like, so what's your understanding? And he goes, yeah, so it's 3 roses. I was like, nope, it's not 3 roses, bro. And he thought that 3 plate lighting was 3 roses in the ceiling. And this is a day before his AM2. And so obviously I sat down and tried to explain it to him, but he was almost a little bit embarrassed by it. And I tried not to make him feel stupid by it, but he was embarrassed that it wasn't 3 roses in the ceiling. And I was like, you know, he did fail. Oh, I didn't fail on that though. You did.
Yeah, but it's like the blind leading the blind, really, if he asks you for advice, isn't it?
You're not wrong. But I do know the basics. Barely.
Yeah.
I think that's the common thing as well, where apprentices are embarrassed to ask stuff when you've got to your 3rd or 4th year and you don't know stuff that you think you should know.
Yeah.
And you don't have that relationship with your employer. It's a brave first step to reach out onto Instagram to people and start asking stuff like that, isn't it? So I'm always happy to help people, because there's been loads and loads who have asked simple things, and you don't know what you don't know. So always ask people. Even ask Sam. He knows some stuff too.
I do know some stuff. I still ask questions all the time, just because I'd rather be sure. I've got no sort of, I'm not too proud to ask a question and be wrong, you know, change my mind sort of thing.
It's fact, yeah, I do it.
Nick, you look like you're a rent boy on the street corner in a red light district.
Oh, it's starting to annoy me now. Should I change the back? I know. I thought I'd give it a go. To anyone that's watching it, I put a green screen up. I owned it for ages, but I said to you on the phone, didn't I, Sam? I'm going to try it tonight, and it's really funny because my kids are in early. We don't own a green T-shirt. No one owns a green T-shirt, so we had a green Asda bag, and we were holding it there, which is your head and your arms floating. It was great. But I don't have anything green. Oh, hang on, like I showed earlier. There, a bottle opener. See-through magic. Anyway, and my skull, Sam, a 3D printed skull.
So so you've got this 3D printer. You're all pleased with yourself. You're printing out tat. Well done.
well, I'm going to do some lightsabers for the kids, and it prints in literally a cylinder like this, but it prints the internal layers. So as you finished it, you just snap it off, and you can flick it, and it'll come out as a meter long.
Someone's going to lose an eye, aren't they? Someone's losing an eye for sure.
Fact. I want to play with it a bit. I bought it last year, and then I remember I put it on one of my very first videos. I 3D printed myself a holster for my GoPro Hero 3 because you couldn't buy them anymore because we're so old. And then I started playing with it, and then what's that, mate? Yeah, in a second. I'm just on the computer, but okay. Can you shut my window?
Shut his window.
No, it's all right. Be fine. I'm a joke. His mom's there. But yeah, I just thought I'd get back off my brother for a bit and play with it over Christmas, build some stuff for the kids. Because you can do loads of stuff on it. It's great. Anyway, let's go back to electrical stuff. It's got power to it, slightly electrical related.
Amy, so are you going to tell us who this celebrity is or not?
No, I'm not allowed. I don't want to get sued.
What kind of celebrity, though, makes their builders sign an NDA?
It happens quite a bit.
Yeah, they don't want people.
Actor, sports star. Give us a little clue, surely.
Yeah,
I can't tell you anything. I'll get in trouble.
Sports or TV?
No comment.
Well,
Don't ask me questions.
It's good.
Wait, hold on.
Do this.
Are they from the UK? Are they English or what?
I'm not telling you anything. I don't want to get into trouble.
That's a shit game, isn't it?
Sorry.
Nice one, Sam. Let's play Would You Rather.
Let's not play.
Oh yeah. Has anybody got a good would you rather?
Would you rather pick my nose and eat it?
Ooh.
Or
Don't, Sam. Just don't.
no?
Right, let's just stop this quickly. Mark, say something smart, quick.
Right. I'll tell you what we do. We're going to wrap it up because we're descending into chaos tonight. Listen, it's been a good one, lads and ladies. We shall reconvene next week and have a good week, everyone.
And you.
And you.